A woman kneels alone in her bedroom at 2:47 a.m., hands trembling, heart shattered. The doctors had confirmed what she feared. The cancer was back. Her savings were gone. Her husband hadn't spoken to her in days. Her heart felt like a heavy stone in her chest. She whispered, "Ya Allah, I don't know how to carry this." Elsewhere, a young man stares at the ceiling of a prison cell, falsely accused, forgotten by friends and family. Tears roll silently down his cheeks as he begs for vindication. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when you feel like you're standing at the edge of a cliff, and the ground beneath you is crumbling, when even your own breath feels too heavy. It was in a moment like this, raw, desperate, human, that our beloved Prophet Muhammad called upon Allah with a dua that would echo across generations of believers, rescuing hearts from despair and wrapping them in divine mercy. O ever-living, O sustainer of all, by your mercy I seek relief. But when did he say this? It wasn't during a moment of comfort or ease. It was during Uhud, the most crushing chapter of his mission. The wounds of Uhud. After the passing of his greatest supporter, his beloved wife Khadija R.A., and his protective uncle Abu Talib, the Prophet stood exposed in Mecca. The oppression grew fiercer. So he traveled to the city of Uhud with a simple hope. Maybe here, someone will listen. Instead, he was humiliated. The leaders mocked him. The children pelted him with stones. Blood poured from his feet, mixing with the dust beneath him. Alone, rejected, wounded. It was after this, when the world had turned its back on him, that he turned to the one who never turns away. In a voice laced with pain but anchored in tawakkul, he raised his hands and whispered. It wasn't just a dua. It was a lifeline, a spiritual cry from the depths of human vulnerability. Unpacking the dua. This dua is short, just a few words, but each one is soaked in divine power. Ya Ayu, O ever-living, the one who never dies, the one whose life is perfect and unceasing. In your moment of despair, you call on the one untouched by weakness or fatigue, the one who never sleeps, never forgets, never leaves. Ya Qayyum, O self-sustaining sustainer of all. He holds the heavens and the earth, and yet he sees you, feeds you, heals you. Without him, nothing stands, and with him, nothing breaks beyond repair. By Romatica Astigith, by your mercy, I seek relief. You don't call on your deeds. You don't claim to deserve anything. You come empty-handed, broken-hearted, seeking only his mercy. And his mercy is vast enough to heal every soul on earth and still remain undiminished. According to Ibn al-Qayyim, this dua is one of the most powerful supplications a person can say during times of distress. The Prophet would often repeat it, especially during the darkest parts of the night. And what's striking is, he never asked for power. He didn't ask for revenge. He asked for mercy, the language of the broken. There's a reason this dua is so powerful. It's not elaborate. It's not poetic. It is the language of the broken. The believer at the end of their rope doesn't need long sentences. They need to be seen, held, carried. Ya Ayu Ya Qayyum is the dua of the one whose voice is cracking, whose strength has run out. It's the dua of the mother with a sick child, the refugee who lost everything, the teenager lost in depression, the man betrayed, the woman abandoned. And it was the dua of the messenger of Allah, the most beloved to Allah, the most tested by Allah, a channel of light in your darkness. So pause for a moment, close your eyes, picture yourself in sujud, your forehead pressed to the earth, your tears soaking the prayer mat. The house is silent, everyone is asleep, but you are awake, awake with grief, awake with hope, and you whisper. And somewhere, beyond what your eyes can see, angels move, mercy descends, and your dua is heard by the Lord of the throne. Never underestimate what happens when a broken heart calls out to the ever-living, the sustainer of all. This dua, these 7 words, have changed lives. They can change yours too. Stay with us. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how this same dua became the weapon of the Haliyah, the scholars, the poor, the persecuted, how it traveled across generations, carried by believers who witnessed its miracles. But for now, let this be your prayer tonight. Let it rise with your breath. Let it become the rhythm of your healing. If this touched your heart, comment Ya Ayu Ya Qayyum below, and tell us how this dua finds you today. Imagine a caravan of time. At its front, Prophet Muhammad, bloodied but unbroken, whispering, O ever-living, O sustainer of all, by your mercy I seek relief. Behind him, century after century, walk the sincere, barefooted scholars carrying scrolls, mothers clutching their sleeping babies, youth weeping beneath olive trees under occupation, the sick, the seekers, the saints. And all of them, at some point, repeat this very dua because it works. From the Prophet to the scholars. Ibn Taymiyyah Rahimahullah, one of the most brilliant minds in Islamic history, once said, I used to say this dua frequently during moments of deep difficulty, and through it, I witnessed extraordinary openings from Allah. This is the man who was imprisoned multiple times, betrayed, slandered, and surrounded by political enemies. And yet, in his isolation, he recited this dua not as a formality, but as a rope thrown into the heavens, seeking a pull from the Lord above. And then came his student Ibnul Qayyim. He too lived a life of hardship and spiritual struggle. But he left us this gem in his famous work Madarij Salikin. From the most powerful duas in removing affliction and attracting mercy is to call upon Allah with Ya Ayu Ya Qayyum, Biromatica Astigith. These weren't abstract scholars writing theory. These were men broken by trials, navigating injustice, loneliness, disease, political prisons. And they emerged from it not bitter, but brighter, carried by the echo of this prophetic dua. From the saints of old to the believers of today. But this dua didn't stay in libraries. Traveled. It reached Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, who would repeat it during the darkest nights of his imprisonment under the Abbasids. It reached refugees who had fled with nothing, huddling in tents under the night sky, whispering the same plea. It reached parents in hospitals, staring at their child in an ICU bed, with nothing left but hope and this whispered dua. And even today it echoes in hearts across every time zone. In Nigeria, a widow sits beneath a tree with her Quran in her lap, reciting it between sobs. In Gaza, a father holds his daughter's tiny shoes and repeats it over and over. In London, a young revert prays in his room, tears falling as he finally finds the words to ask for help. Ya Ayu Ya Qayyum. This dua is universal because it requires no eloquence. You don't need to be Arab. You don't need to be learned. You just need to be in pain and willing to trust. Why this dua is different? Let's take a deeper look. Unlike many duas that ask for specific outcomes, healing, provision, safety, this one takes a different path. It calls upon two names of Allah that unlock every gate. Alayu, the ever-living, you're calling on the one who outlives every sorrow, who never dies, never fades. You're calling on permanence in a world of temporary people, temporary plans, and temporary peace. Al-Qayyum, the sustainer, he sustains galaxies, empires, human hearts. And in this dua, you ask him to sustain you, to carry you when your legs fail, your mind cracks, and your soul trembles. And then, you don't even ask for a miracle. You ask for mercy. Biromatica Astigith. By your mercy, I seek relief. You recognize that you can't save yourself, that only His mercy can lift this weight. Many scholars, including Imam Ghazali, explain that these two names, Alayu and Al-Qayyum, carry the secrets of Tawhid al-Ubudiyya, the oneness of worship. When you call on them, you are declaring your need, acknowledging His power, submitting your brokenness at the feet of divine majesty. And when you do this sincerely, the heavens open. A sister in Malaysia once shared how she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Doctors gave her a few months. She began repeating Ya Ayu Ya Qayyum, Biromatica Astigith, after every salah and during tahajjud. 2 years later, the cancer disappeared. Her doctor said, "There's no medical explanation." She smiled. "There is a divine one." A brother in Jordan lost his entire business, fell into severe debt, and contemplated ending his life. One night, he found a video online teaching this dua. He began saying it in sajda. Opportunities opened. A stranger paid his debt. A new business emerged. He now teaches the dua that saved him. These aren't fairy tales. These are miracles born of mercy. Your turn in the caravan. This isn't just a story about them. It's about you. You are part of this same caravan. You, the listener, the believer, the broken-hearted soul scrolling at 3 a.m. hoping for relief. What if this very night you joined the chain? What if you were the next soul to whisper? And what if, days from now, you returned to this video to comment? Allah answered me. I found peace. I found strength. I found Him. Spread the light. If you've ever experienced the power of dua or want to comment below, you're walking through the ruins of your life. The bricks of your plans have collapsed. Your heart feels like a battlefield. You're tired not just in your body, but in your soul. And just when you're about to stop trying, you remember it. You fall to your knees in a quiet room. The moon is up. The world is asleep. And you say, from a depth even you didn't know you had. And everything changes. Not because the storm vanishes, but because you're no longer alone inside it. This is not a dua. It's a way of life. The most powerful part of this prophetic dua isn't just in its words. It's in the position it trains your heart to take. Permanently. This one line teaches you to live with dependence on Allah, not on your job, not on people, not on outcomes. Seek mercy first, not just results. You're not asking for Allah to do what you want. You're asking Him to do what's best with mercy. Surrender your plan and trust His. Now I want you to imagine yourself. It's night. You're in your room. You're back against the wall. The pressure is crushing. You whisper the dua through tears. A week later, something small shifts. Someone offers help. A door opens. You begin to breathe again. Months later, you're walking more upright. You feel the nearness of Allah everywhere. You still say the dua, not from desperation now, but from love. You're talking to someone else who's breaking. They tell you their life is falling apart. You look them in the eye and say, let me tell you about the dua that changed everything for me. This is how you become a walking ayah, a vessel of divine light, a proof that Allah answers. This dua has traveled from the wounded heart of a prophet, through the pens of scholars, across the lips of the suffering and the hopeful, into your ears, your heart, your life, and now it waits for you to carry it forward. You who's listening to this with a quiet ache inside. You who's holding on by threads. You who's felt distant from Allah but still, somehow, ended up here. This is your moment. Wake up a few minutes before far. Make wudu. Pray 2 rakas even if shaky. In sujud, repeat the dua. O ever-living, O sustainer of all, by your mercy I seek relief. Let this final reminder rest gently in your heart. The one who created you knows your voice, sees your tears, counts your breath, knows exactly how to lift you again. You just have to call. And what more beautiful way to call than with the words He taught His most beloved. Say it, live it, pass it on. This is not the end. This is your new beginning. Don't forget, like and subscribe to stay connected with the next spiritual series. Comment and share it with someone who needs light. From our hearts to yours, may Allah Al-Qayyum surround you with mercy, strengthen your steps, and never leave your side.